Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video, well, let's take a look at was today the uncertainty increasing in the market more and more, or was it the another opportunity today to add into the position? As you know, I have been saying since yesterday that things have turned around, and many of the levels that I provided you to build the position, we are seeing a bounce just off of those zones and areas. So let's take a look at the technicals, what they are telling us, and we'll be able to identify with that as if tomorrow what we can expect. Now tomorrow is Friday, and let's see if any other news comes out around tariffs. But so far today, yes, it was a little bit deflating, demoralizing at some times as well as things came down. However, we have to stick with the principles of trading, and as I said yesterday, we are dipping just in a if we dip in this zone below this blue box area 530, it's a zone of building the position, and we are seeing bounces there, not just on S&P 500 but Nasdaq 100 as well. Again, these indices are the reflections of the individual other stocks. So as we'll take a look at in this video, S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, Tesla, and Nvidia. Let's see what the market is telling us. So with that, I also want to let you know, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So the analysts and people talking in the media, they are still on the negative side. Okay, they are, and I don't know if this could be because they had their short position running in the market, and that's why they are just reluctant to turn around now, because they are like, hey, let us keep, everyone is in the same boat, let us keep saying that things will not get better so that they can protect their shorts. I don't know, because technically I am seeing, as I said yesterday as well, today if we see a dip down here in this zone, it's a buying opportunity. So we are seeing that bounce today. For me, I'm still in that same game that this is a position building zone down here. All right, anything below 530 and above 490 or $500 almost. This $30 zone is a zone of position building. Definitely you have to manage your risk as how much you can tolerate a drawdown, right? And anytime if structure break, that would be if we lose like 490 and below, if we start to lose that, then only I will consider structure break together with that 200 weeks moving average. Actually, we're still very far away, but I don't think we're gonna do that. I do think today was another opportunity to build into the position. But anyhow, as I always say, we have to manage the risk, right? But as what I said, we are getting that very bounce in that zone of building the position. So let's get to the hourly interval, and let's see and identify what to watch tomorrow especially, right? Now on hourly interval on S&P 500, we definitely have a lower high. Okay, we do have a lower high and a lower low. It all comes down to a if even if we come down, guys, as I said, that area is still very important. I still believe we'll see stabilization and we'll continue to see stabilization. Now today's bounce is coming. Now if from here right away we want to gain that full on momentum and strength, tomorrow we need to stay above 532 and 98 cents or $533 almost. We need to get above this zone and close above it or stay above it. It's very important to take out these moving lower zones of the resistance, that is the lower high especially, right? So these are reference lines. Okay, and in this case this is the one, almost we are just hitting the ceiling over here of this reference line, but I would like to see it above, not just above this reference line but also above this $533. If right away from here on S&P 500 we want to just have a really good strength back again after yesterday, right? So otherwise, I still see things are just fine so far. We got a bounce in those zones. Okay, we got a bounce. Yes, it was very deflating. It was very demoralizing here. It was like, what's going on? But we have to stay with the principles, right? and risk management and all of that. And as I have been saying, and on the daily interval, guys, this is a very strong demand zone. I know it's not easy to digest, or stomach this thing is very difficult to stomach it, right? And but this is still a demand zone area, okay? But that's my take. You do whatever you feel like doing. You do what you think is going to, if you what you think is possibly is the eventual outcome, then please do what you think is right in your own perspectives. And okay, I'm just sharing my opinion here. Now, the next one is NASDAQ 100. Very similar situation. As I said, this one actually, so just in a build position, and we are seeing a bounce. All right, now definitely let's get to the hourly interval. It's the same stuff, guys, as just what I explained on S&P 500. Let's get to the hourly interval. And here we have lower high as well, just very similar case like S&P 500. And with NASDAQ 100, I would like to see it above 453 and 90 cents as soon as possible. If we can get that on this, and even if we can just take out 450, that's also a good start. All right, but yes, we need to take out these areas. And to put it simply, you can also use 200 hours moving average. We got to take this out as soon as possible. Tomorrow, if we even close somewhere closer to 457, we are just fine, okay? The base is set up then properly, and then next week can be a good run-up setup. And anyhow, I still believe, sure, intraday you can trade however you like. I'm providing you a bigger picture here, right? For intraday swing long, you can use my tools. Again, as I always say, you can check out the details in the description of this video if you need access to my tools. Now, I still believe overall, eventually, even if we slip lower, just like we had a bounce today, this will still be a position building phase unless I really see some cracks below $420 area. Until then, I'm still in the bull camp on the market overall. All right. So yes, it's again, I know it's a very difficult to digest the day, the amount of dip we got after, but it's normal. So many orders go unfilled when that huge strong volumes comes on a day, and the next days it's usually a pullback. And when the bigger the gap, the bigger the move, the volatility, the more pullback is possible. And that's what we have today. But again, we are still in the demand zone. Okay, the next one is Tesla, and then we'll take a look at Nvidia. Tesla, a very similar thing, guys. We are getting bought back up. As I said, this is just fine. This demand zone, definitely I just want to see it above, stay $250. But yeah, we did have a dip, just like in every other stock. But hey, you can always do day trade as well on the short side. So for example, again, my tools work on all the instruments. I'm just gonna, this one particular one also that I'm gonna show you also works on all the stocks and instruments, but I'll just quickly show you on Tesla because this is the trade I also took today on the intraday side of my in another portfolio. And look at the beautiful move below the cloud. We played the short, market just when opened, little bit rebound came, but this was just a rebound, so it's like size out more in the position, the short, right? Just cover more and then short again. Lot of good moves and then cover, and this was a rebound play as well. I was really happy to take both sides today. And then as you can see, we again rejected the cloud. I didn't take this last one because, well, I was done. I mean, made good money on this, so yeah, never overdo, because when I take two trades that are both in the money and a good moves, I usually skip the third one. I don't take, especially when there are only few minutes left for the market to close. But anyways, if you need also access to these tools, again, check out the details in the description of this video. All right, so Tesla, guys, I'm still in the bullish case or bullish camp here. All right, for me, this is just a normal pullback today after such a strong volume yesterday. Now, where will, again, we have just like in S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 lower high forming on Tesla as well right now intraday. There is that, if you are looking at hourly interval, yes, we are in the downtrend right now, near term. But the bounce is still coming eventually. Overall, I still believe we are fine. We want to get above as soon as like tomorrow, 261. If we can get above it, we are just great and fine again, and we have taken out then this lower moving reference area. It's just not the trend line, but also I want to see extra confirmation is above 261 for me. All right, so that's Tesla. That's all what we have to watch. Now unfortunately, if we lose 244 area, 242 to 244 area, then we can test again the bottom of this demand zone, 234 actually. So yeah, I don't want to see that. I will still be in the bull camp overall in the direction wise, but that near term then struggle will happen actually then, right? At least that will persist. So that's Tesla. Let's take a look at Nvidia and we'll wrap up the video with that. Now Nvidia is still very strong. As I said yesterday as well, guys, this zone, use it just as if any, it's a pullback. It's still just a pullback in the direction as we are gaining right now on Nvidia. And this is what I have been saying since thereafter, guys. We are just fine. We are just bullish. Again, I have shown you on the weekly interval why this area is so important. Now, today, just a pullback, getting bought back up. Now, let's get to the hourly interval. This thing actually was doing really well, first of all, in the even when other stocks were falling, it was still holding strong up here. And then eventually it gave up with the market. Now this thing very nicely held at that significant level that I was expecting. I didn't trade Nvidia today. I was just busy with Tesla. But yeah, this was also a good move. You know, if some of you took it, that's great with my tools, right? So you know what I'm talking about. And with Nvidia, if we can take out tomorrow 109 and 11 cents above this, will just fine and bullish. And I'm not in the camp of shorting Nvidia intraday also. Again, you will use the tools to make those decisions, but there's some weakness more possible if we lose 104 and 78 cents, but that will be only near-term weakness. I'm not overall in the bearish camp, as you can understand as how I explained the things. Overall for me, I'm still fine with how the things are, and I still think unless I adjust the levels I gave you across all these 4 instruments, unless the last line of defense levels are not cracking, overall direction for me eventually on the market right now is still on the bullish side. It's not bearish. All right, intraday, yes, things can be traded as how the opportunity presents itself, but overall right now my sentiment is still bullish on the market. That's just my take. I know there's still a lot of right now downside talks all over across all the media, and I am just not in that boat. Again, just my opinion. Okay, please do what you feel like doing. And that's all I had for you guys in this video. And with that, guys, I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye.